It's 600 degrees.
Isn't it? Welcome to the West Coast, brother.
This is the South Perth Light. Can you call it South Perth?
Southwest.
Southwest Perth. We're here in WA. We've got Jeff, Kurt from Torq Hub. You know these guys. Been pumping the YouTube channel. Very famous for Holden stuff. They love the Holden stuff. We love the Holden stuff. No doubt lots of you guys out there love the Holden stuff too. We could not come to WA without come and visit these guys. They work out of two sheds. This is Kurt's shed and Jeff's shed's just down the road. We're going to give you guys a look in both. So Torq Hub, you guys might want to know. I want to know a little bit more. How did it start and where is it all at?
How did it start? Well, it started by talking about it for 2 years, just like everybody else does when they start a YouTube channel, hey?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. How long, 4 years ago?
It was 4 years ago now, yeah, that's right. So it's, I guess we enjoy watching content, and you know, it's better than TV, let's be honest. So doing all the car stuff.
It's the new TV, right?
That's right, yeah.
100%.
So doing car stuff, and you know, we've always done some projects in the shed, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we're always working on our cars or friends' cars.
And what do you know? Some people thought some of it looked kind of cool, and we thought, well, if other people think it's cool, maybe we could put it online and see if other people think it's cool.
Yeah,
and that's how it's become.
And here I see people wearing your shirts all over the place.
Really?
So you know, you've got some dudes that are well invested in the brand. We're really appreciative of you letting us guys come here today and check everything out.
We do a lot of Australian sort of four-door cars sort of stuff, Commodores.
Yeah.
We've done a couple of Falcons. So
Utes.
Utes, sort of real Aussie stuff. If you want to get sort of a little taste of the Australian car scene, if you're from overseas or whatever even, this is sort of what it is and what we're about.
And we've got a pretty strong sort of... Our demographic really loves the Holden 5-litre V8, which is a staple for us, and that's great because there's about 4 of them that you're going to see throughout this video.
There's many people, no doubt, who watch the channel love the Holden stuff. I think the LS had a big surge, but I see a lot of people going back to 5-litre stuff, especially with, you know, early girl Commodores and, you know, some of the other stuff. So
yeah,
and that's
definitely.
not to say that the LS stuff is no good.
No, not at all.
We've done plenty of LS stuff as well.
Yep.
You know, we've done turbo LSs and small block Ford stuff as well, but I don't know, just something deep in our heart, that iron line, baby.
I think the success of the LS is probably why we're seeing that trend. It's we've just seen you've done everything with it. You can make 1 million horsepower. We've seen a lot of cool cars, but you know, like any trends, they always come around in circles, don't they? So yeah, we're happy about it anyway.
But today's video is surrounded by 5 litres, so strap in. We're in Kurt's shed right now. We're going to go to Jeff's shed after, but what's the difference between the two sheds? You do different things or the same?
So this shed here is primarily the fabrication. I'm a fabricator by trade, so I'm set up. I've got all my welding gear, you know, lifts, all that kind of stuff. So primarily welding, cutting, grinding, all that kind of stuff here. And then down at Jeff's, it's more spanner stuff, engine blocks, all that kind of stuff. Really. So yeah, he's more about that, and I just glue the stuff together.
This thing here's had a bit of fab done to it, as you can see, turbocharged V8. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so this is my baby. This car's been in the family for over 20 years. I'll never get rid of this car. I love it so much. You're not supposed to get attached to objects, I don't think, but this one I do. But I've spent countless hours, absolutely countless hours, just smoothing engine bays and fabricating just about everything. I do everything the hard way. But I've tried to make it sort of tidy and unique.
That's part of the fun, right? That's like, you did it yourself.
Yeah, it's like doing any car stuff. It's an expression of your own sort of visions and stuff like that, and that's why we all love it. So it's definitely a labour of love, that's for sure, anyway.
Turbocharged Holden V8s, you don't see a lot of them. You do see them, but don't see a lot of them. What do you love about, you know, this engine with a turbo?
So the reason I sort of went down the turbo route is because back in the day, I never really thought you could make the sort of horsepower that I thought I wanted with like a naturally aspirated combo.
Yeah.
I've since been proven wrong with technology that's come through the years. You can make some pretty stout power with naturally aspirated plastic V8s now, but once again, being a fabricator, I can knock up manifolds. It's really quite easy for me, and it's fairly cost effective as well.
If you put it into a fab shop, it might start getting $10,000+.
100%, yeah.
But
when you can do it yourself, you can save a hell of a lot of money. And the videos on the channel, like, we do try to showcase how sort of easy it is to get started on these sorts of projects. Sometimes, like anything, you look at it from the start and you think it's a big thing, but if you break it down into small steps, I honestly believe that a lot of people could do this that probably wouldn't believe that they could, for sure. And we do try to put that across. I share a lot of tips on the channel and stuff as well for guys that maybe have never even touched a welder. So yeah, we definitely try and push the DIY thing because you can do a good job.
Now that it's done, what's it like to drive?
It's not fully tuned yet. I'm having some dramas. This thing runs on E85 and it sits around because the project behind you there, I do spend a lot of my time doing other people's cars as well.
Yep.
I'm having some fuel system dramas. So injectors are out at the moment. They're coming back. We'll tidy up a few other things and then we're onto the dyno to see how it goes. But I've been in plenty of combos, you know, similar to this.
Plenty of fun though once it's sorted.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
And
what sort of power you
good.
reckon?
With this particular motor, it's a fairly stock 304.
Yeah.
If I can get around 400 horsepower to the wheels through the turbo 400, I'll be pretty happy.
Awesome street car, like.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got another motor under the bench that's sort of 3/4 done, 355, you know, all the 4-bolt route, blah, blah, blah. Dash 9
More like
heads
600
and stuff.
maybe with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, probably more. If I can get into the 700s and like always aim for more than what you need. It's, you know, it's
But to make 400 horsepower in a basically kind of stock 5 litre would take a lot of money. Whereas you've used your skills to fab up this kit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then,
it can be done
Yeah.
really cheap. And especially with like turbochargers now, there's so many different options you can get and they're really quite affordable now.
You see dudes do a lot from, you know, really spec'd up Garrett turbos to Chinese stuff off eBay. You know,
and it all seems to work for the most part. It's sort of different strokes for different blokes, really. So I definitely like to try and stick with good quality components where I can, but also I'm saving money with utilising my skill set to save money on labour and stuff.
You're also
like that.
saying if you're out there, have a go.
100%. You've got nothing to lose. And I'm a fabricator, but I taught myself how to like I painted the engine bay and smooth these out and stuff. So look, not the best job in the world, but you know, I learn a skill and, you know, to the casual glance, it looks pretty good, really.
Customer car, let's call it, or, you know, like
friend's car.
Friend
slash customer, yeah.
This one over here, we'll have it's up on the hoist at the moment. Can we have a cheeky look around the back here?
Absolutely.
What's going on? So the idea with this, what's the brief on this one? Sleeper,
number one. It had to be...
Holden V8.
Holden V8.
Yeah.
6-speed manual. We got a VL turbo diff up the back here.
Yeah.
Once again, we've utilised pretty good components where we can. Garrett turbos. We use Turbo Smart for everything. Speed flow, plumbing, all that sort of stuff. We try and buy good components that are going to be reliable. And most of that stuff I just mentioned, all of it's Australian made. That's another key thing on the channel. We love to support Australian companies and we really do get behind it. We're passionate about Australian manufacturing and just keeping people like me in jobs, basically. So yeah.
I see a little turbo on the back here,
Yeah, so this is a GTW 3884, so it's just a journal bearing Garrett, 67mm turbo, not huge. We're only aiming for about 400 horsepower with this one, which with the 6-speed manual on the road, you know, normal street
way
tyres.
like, what, 1350 maybe?
It's light, dude. When I've pushed it in and out, even compared to that one, like they're not super heavy, but this, you can feel the difference. It's really going to be quite peppy on the street, I do believe.
Yeah, especially manual, like, and you know, VL turbo diff. We've all sort of driven a few few cars with a few of those. It should be nice and tight. It
should be a really good combo.
Yeah.
It's and unique too. Like we haven't gone out to be unique. We really just want it to. We want it real sleeper. Like I want to even pop the bonnet. Basically, once we're done under there, we want it to look naturally aspirated. Tell
us about the remount turbo, and we'll walk forward by like some of the challenges of engineering something like this.
So I think. Pipe sizing is important.
Yeah.
You don't want to go too big.
Because remount's not common, but
no, it's not common. And but there are. I mean, at this point in time now, so we got lucky with the wagon, definitely. I mean, there's a lot of custom work that's gone into making this fit the way it has. But really happy with how it's turned out so far. But getting back to like some of the considerations, I think pipe sizing. And just really trying to keep the energy from the exhaust in the pipe is the thing. Obviously, you've got a long way to go, and that energy is going to dissipate through, you know, heat getting into the atmosphere. So
I can tell you, if I did all these welds, there wouldn't be any energy in the pipes whatsoever.
Yeah,
this is like really smick job.
Yeah, it should turn out really good. We do plan on, you know, ceramic coating, wrapping, all that kind of stuff. It should work really good. The other quick thing I'll mention is the oil system. That's the one, probably the big thing that stumps everyone is getting oil to and from. So as you can see here, we've got a little reservoir with a breather and stuff on it. So use a good pump. Pump's going to be up here. pump the oil back to the
It's all
motor.
very compact, and it seems like, you know, once it's got suspension, a few street drives and stuff, it's all going to. You wouldn't even know it was there.
No, not at all. About the only thing from when the car's sitting on the ground is we've got the fuel tank that I've made. It hangs down about 30 mil. We're probably just going to do a little black strip on there, and it won't even stand out.
And with rear mount turbos and stuff, people might think that you might not get air to it. There's plenty of air back
Oh,
there,
absolutely,
especially when you're driving.
And the advantage to it, other than looking sleeper in the engine bays, anyone that's got a turbo car knows how hot they get under the engine bay.
You're not gonna have a problem
under bonnet
the
temps
back.
are a real struggle with turbo cars.
Yeah.
So this alleviates that issue for sure.
Yeah, I love some of the pipe work to get there, because it's quite a job to, you know, the car. You obviously probably want to get this one pretty low, so it looks pretty.
Yeah, this thing's going to be
cool.
slammed. Yeah, like I've made every effort to
It's tucked
to
right
get
up,
like
yeah.
if you look through, it's really tied up through here. We've used up every bit of real estate we can in an effort to get it all off the ground, and it needs to. I mean, what's the most important thing about a car? Let's be honest, it's the stance, isn't it?
Totally.
You got to get the stance right. It doesn't matter.
The look of it, obviously, the way it handles and performs is
Absolutely.
there, but you know. We only drive them 5% of the time. I feel like we work on them and look at them the most.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like it's got to bloody look right.
Yeah, you could have the best of everything and have everything perfect, but if your stance is wrong, it's just going to look
And
a
a
bit
wagon
funky.
too. It's got to be slammed.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so
Yeah. We've moved, if you've noticed.
Yeah,
We're now in Jeff's shed, the other half of Torq Hub.
that's it. We're on the bad side of town now.
This is where Kurt was saying you do a lot more of the spanner work, putting engines in and out of cars and things like that. And
Yeah, that's right. I mean, when you look at the sort of the tooling and the way that the sheds are set up, he's got a lot of the fabrication, the welders, the band saws and stuff like that,
Yep.
whereas I've got more of the mechanical style of tooling. So we basically, they go to his place for fab, and then they come down here for mechanical, and that's kind of how we roll.
been doing some mechanical on this recently.
I have been, unfortunately, yeah. Poor old girl. This is my supercharged 5 litre VS Ute. Was Kurt's car, believe it or not. I actually bought it from him many years ago, probably about 12 years ago now. And torched the head gasket on cylinder number 1, which is just what you're chasing the week before Motorvation. Had the whole top end apart and got it back together. Thanks to the guys at CSC Performance, we managed to sneak it up there and get it on the dyno for a bit of a health check. And yeah, she's looking pretty good, ready to rock and roll.
You sent me a video. It sounded good as well. It's like
Mate, you can't beat the sound of a blown 5 litre.
sounded good on the freeway when you showed me that as well. No, a blown 5 litre does have a noise, right?
Absolutely, yeah. But no, it's a clean and tidy rig. It's because it's stock bottom end.
Factory
stock
5 litre ute, all this.
And it's a manual car as well.
Yeah.
Just like the wagon, it's a peppy little streeter.
About 400, you reckon?
This one,
Yeah.
this made 330 rear wheel horsepower at 11 pounds of boost, which funnily enough, it made within 0.1 of a horsepower of what it did 20 years ago.
Wow. Oh, so this setup's been like, and it's
Since 2004, correct?
yeah. Wow. And you've had it for
I've had this now for I think 12 or 13
you
years.
said that. Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
How good?
Yeah, it's a good thing. And, like
And there's
I say,
also lots of content about this on Torq Hub as well. So
correct. Yeah, this is actually one of the people's favourite cars. I always keep belting me like, there needs more content on your ute. It's like, all right, I'm getting there, but I've got mouths to feed. I've got lots of mouths to feed, and we'll see some of them shortly.
yeah, just looking out over here, this beautiful SLE. There's
That's
a bit of a
right.
podcast desk. You guys get into that?
Yeah, I was going to say you'll have to cross the podcast studio. This is sort of where we do the podcast monthly. Basically, where we talk about anything car related, event related. Basically anything that's been happening within the month. Started off as just a really good excuse for me and Kurt to sit down with a beer and have a yarn without having to work on a car for a couple of hours.
Who needs an excuse for that, right?
Yeah, that's right. But hey, if you can put it out there, and people love a good shed yarn.
This is, I believe, you're giving yourself what you want, which is like a dream car for you, right?
Absolutely, yeah. If we pan around, mate, you'll see this is my 1982 VHSLE, which has been, I've actually owned this car for coming up to 9 years and I've still never driven it.
Yeah.
When I got it out of a shed in Kalgoorlie out in the outback of WA, it had been sitting there for a long time. I managed to get it hot wired with the 308 that was in it, and I started putting water in the radiator and it all started pouring out the back of the block, as you do, when the car's been sitting for a long time.
Yep.
So that's when the car got pulled apart and it still hasn't been put back together.
9 years later, though, it's looking like it's getting somewhere real fast.
Well, it's one of those things where when you've got that kind of time and you start saving a bit of money and you start making plans, but things start to snowball, right? Mm-hmm. So this has had just over 2-year full rotisserie restoration with a hell of a lot of new old stock parts, which, you know, really hard to find nowadays, would you believe?
Yeah. You were saying it to me earlier, radiator support, quarters.
That's right, yeah. Full front apron, smooth engine bay, front and rear windscreen panels have been replaced, new old stock rear quarters, seals have been replaced. I think we had 3 sets of doors, 3 bonnets, 3 boot lids, just to try and get
the beauty
this
of new old stock is, you know, it's going to fit pretty good.
That's right, yeah. You do see some of the aftermarket stuff. It's a great
base.
Yeah, it's like a, you know, you can take a rust cut off it, which is good, but as a replacement panel, sometimes it's not.
Yeah, new old stock stuff's always really good.
That's right, yeah. But no, this has turned out magnificent, and full props to Simon at Woodley's Car Works for all the hard work that he's put in to this, to get it to where it's at, which to me, it looks, I mean, you be the judge, it's better than brand new.
Man, the engine bay stands out to me because it's like, it kind of still looks factory, but you've done a few little tweaks, welded a few bits up where it gives it a real nice, modern, clean, fresh look, you know?
That's right, yeah. The whole idea and the goal of the build is going to be factory plus, if you to sort of put it that way.
I like that.
Yeah. So it's like just that little bit better than it was factory.
Steal that. That's really good.
But then you look at someone like, you know, Timmy Laidler's VL, I'd call that factory plus plus.
Yeah, that's like factory double, triple plus. Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, extra plus.
As for driveline, this thing's not going to have anything quite wild like that thing, but
there will be
there will be a hole in the bonnet. Sorry, guys. There's going to be people that are going to be like, that's a good bonnet. I can't find one of them. But, you know, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
383 Holden V8, naturally aspirated, 13.5 to 1 comp, solid roller. So she's going to be an angry little beast.
A few fruity bits in the motor and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it'll probably be, you know, 8,000 RPM. Hopefully mid to high 9-second quarter-mile car in aspirated trim. So
sounding like around 600, like.
I'm hoping around 700 at the crank, maybe 500, 550 at the wheels. So yeah, backed by a turbo 350, and it's got a shortened bore gear for the rear.
Bit of gas maybe later on at some stage?
Maybe if I want to try for an 899. Let's see how we go.
But keep everything else nice, where you can put the, you know, kids in the back and go for a cruise.
I bought this before I had kids, knowing that I was going to need the extra seats, and I was hoping I would have had the car built before I had a family, but my oldest is 5.5 now, so you know, we'll get there.
That's all good.
But if we're going from, you know, a bucket list build to, you know, a bucket, we've got this little VY Ute here, which, JBens, I got this for free. $0, would you believe?
A free car is always a good car.
Absolutely. A fella from work.
And it's a Holden, you know.
Yeah, that's right.
Not saying anything bad against Fords, relax. You know.
Yeah, calm down, guys, calm down. Fella from work was moving house and he didn't have anywhere to put it, so he asked me, knowing that I sort of do the things that I do, he said, if you want it, you can come and take it. Now, I sort of rung a few friends and whatever to see what parts people had laying around, and I came up with one of these. So I reckon...
We know that a 3.8 loves a...
They don't mind a little bit of boost, so I reckon we might put about 14 pound out of this 3582.
I see some front runners over there too.
Yeah, those front runners, they're probably going to go on this one.
Okay,
yeah. The 17-inch front runners. I'd love to put a set of billet wheels on this, but after paying the panel bill, I'd probably just need to calm down for a minute. But, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to putting them on the front of this if it was going down the track, that's for sure.
So a bit of a boosted project, sort of like see what you can do for all.
Absolutely, yeah. I'd like to be in this all in for maybe 4 or 5 grand. Turboed running, you know, make about 400 wheel. And just a bit of a party car.
And I bet you it ends up as the car that you love the most.
And the car that I have the least trouble with.
Yeah, because if you scratch or whatever else, these ones, while we love them the most, they're the most stressful, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Even now, just sitting in the shed as it is with the door open, it means that my kids can come in here with their bike, and that's just anxiety that I just don't have time for. Well, I guess, you got your car in the same sort of
state. I've got mine
state.
shoved at work at the moment, so
yeah.
I've just got to go soon back to my house, but anyway.
Very nice, yeah. But no, this is kind of where I'm at. I've, you know, been stashing 5 litres, which, you know, you commented on a little bit earlier.
Handy to have, especially in your game, you know?
Yeah, well, that's it. We want to keep building more cars.
I wouldn't be unhappy to see that turbo on a 5 litre in this, you know? You don't know.
Oh, we've toyed with the idea. Yeah, we've toyed with the idea, but I think Kurt wants
this chassis did come with a 5 litre, maybe the Ute, but the K-frame can.
That's right, yeah.
Get it to suit.
A VT K-frame, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think Kurt wants to get something a bit smaller next, maybe, you know, a small Corolla, Corona, something like that, and you know, something that's a bit lighter, because even though these things aren't super heavy, they do still carry a bit of weight.
You know, I'm actually just going to hark back to my comment about putting a 5 litre. I'm not actually sure. There's probably some train spotters going to say the Ute K-frame is not the same as a sedan K-frame. I'm going to get roasted.
Lucky I know a guy.
Lucky you know a guy.
My motto is grind your way in, weld your way out.
Too good. I must say, thanks, man, for giving us a quick tour of everything, you know, like...
No dramas, mate,
anytime.
anytime.
Guys having fun in the 5 litre scene. We love to see it.
Yep.
To touch on it for a second, you'll see this after Motorvation, but tomorrow is Motorvation. You are taking the 5 litre blown Ute.
That's right, yeah, I will be there.
Camping,
camping the weekend, yeah, and it's going to be as hot as it is today. So looking forward to that, sweating it out in the swag, but we also get such nice Mediterranean weather where you can get out and enjoy these cars. I know it doesn't feel like it today, but usually we do.
It's pretty hot. It was 45 on the way, yeah.
That's right. I've got a treat for you later. They'll cool you down.
So the EMU export, I've never had it before. Cheers to Perth. Cheers to the car community.
Cheers, fellas. Cheers, mate. Enjoy. I know you're a man that just likes a beer that tastes like a beer.
That's good, eh?
Yeah.
That's really good. Mad.
MTV Cribs.
Where's what's his name? Exhibit was here, but he drank all the EMU export. Now he's walking home. His wife's got the shit.